All right, let's talk about the hippie crits at Burnaby Mountain right now protesting against life in general. I'm gonna drink a beer for every single time that Ezra Levant makes me laugh or says something I completely agree with. All right, let's get this started.
For more than a week, we've been showing you the dirty hippies who have turned a beautiful forest on Burnaby Mountain into a garbage dump. These are today's environmentalists. I know it's hard to believe these people who are using a forest as a big public trash can. They claim to be saving the earth. It's gross. I mean, it would be hilarious if it weren't so dangerous to our economy and jobs and our national security. These left-wing extremists, professional protesters, are against a proposed oil pipeline called the Trans Mountain Pipeline that would take oil from Canada's oil sands in Alberta through the Rocky Mountains and right to Vancouver, right to a terminal, tanker terminal. They're really against that pipeline. They can't stand the thought of that pipeline happening. Of course, that pipeline has been happening since before most of the protesters were even born. And most of their parents were born too. That Trans Mountain Pipeline was built more than 60 years ago. Look at this vintage footage of it being built. And that tanker terminal, that's been safely exporting oil on tanker ships from the port of Vancouver without a single navigational incident in more than half a century. Of course, these protesters use fossil fuel themselves. Here's a gasoline-powered generator they brought with them. How come no solar panels or windmills for them? Oh, and there were so many protesters all driving their own cars to protest, they ran out of parking. Here's an organizer telling people the best place to park their gasoline-fueled cars as they go to an anti-oil protest. These protesters live a high-carbon lifestyle that would be impossible without fossil fuels. Just look at their technology, from their high-tech synthetic fiber hipster hiker clothes to their fancy cameras and cell phones to their hydrocarbon-based vinyl signs and tents, everything. Do you see my point here? These anti-industry extremists, who are often bought and paid for by U.S. and other foreign interests, pretend to be Democrats when they participate in our elections. They pretend to value our laws when they make legal claims and lawsuits. But when they lose elections, when they lose legal appeals, they're like spoiled children who, if they're losing a game of checkers, smash the board and throw all the pieces on the ground. That's what's happening on Burnaby Mountain. Millions of regular British Columbians voted for a pro-pipeline party. The legal processes approved pipelines, but they won't take no for an answer, and they're not Democrats.
Fucking touch me.
I didn't touch you, sir. I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No.
Fucking don't touch me. Go back across your fucking line.
You're okay. I want you to have a peaceful
I am
protest.
okay. You're the one who's not okay.
Are you guys okay? Yeah. Okay.
We'll be okay if you fucked off.
Let's head back, you guys.
You fucking cowards.
Take a look at that, eh? Take a look at that. That is not Canada. That is not normal. That is not the British Columbia spirit. That is a professional anarchist. And that's riot and disrespect for the law. That is a grown man swearing at a woman. But he's too cowardly to show his face, isn't he? But these protesters didn't just swear at police. They threw garbage at them. They assaulted them. They spat on them. Here, take a look at this. The protesters are almost always completely white, by the way. They're rich, white liberals, spoiled brats who've been given everything by their parents, and so to try to find meaning, they rebel against their parents and society, but not too much. They don't actually give up the fruits of the industrial age. They all have the latest cell phones, and they all drive cars, and they all wear the highest fashion. So it's a dress-up party, really. I mean, Vancouver is a very multi-ethnic city, but these kids are almost always white because all the immigrant kids are too busy studying or working or trying to get ahead. Here, look at this fool.
So I would like to thank you, everybody, for being here. My name is Niwa, which means brave warrior. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, you ain't a warrior, bro. If you had an Aboriginal name, it would be pale-faced vegetarian beta male with iron deficiency or something. You know, white fawn or something. Is vegetarian beta male with iron deficiency or something. That's the face of the environmental movement, throwing garbage on a Sikh RCMP officer. Oh, and they bring their kids with them, too. They love bringing their kids to police actions, to planned civil disturbances. Oh, they love it. Why? I think it's partly a psychological trick on the part of the crazies here. They know they're being sociopathic. They know they're being uncivil, un-Canadian. They're breaking the law. They're defying court orders. They're screaming insults at police. They're swearing at police. They're doing things that are wrong and abnormal by definition. By bringing a young child with them, they create a simulacrum of normalcy, of wholesomeness. They can pretend that this is some noble thing they're doing, rather than shouting at policemen from the mud, rather than throwing garbage at the one Sikh cop. They're using their own children as a psychological absolution, a way to pretend in their own mind that what they're doing is normal and healthy and in some way protecting the earth, even though they have no clue about any of the facts involved in this pipeline, no clue that the pipeline has been pumping for 60 years, no clue about anything. But it's also more is to get their own children to be involved as radicals, to teach the next generation lawlessness. Remember that poor little girl who was brought to the anti-Enbridge protest in May in Vancouver and told by her parents to hold a sign saying F-U-C-K Enbridge? We've blurred out the sign here, but that's what it said. That's gross. You make your child carry that sign as a weapon? Which is the final reason here. It's gross to take your child to a police event, a civil disturbance. Violence, attacking police, charging them, being cheered on by liberal vegetarians, some of whom brought their kids in the mud, in the rain, breaking the court injunction, abusing the police, swearing at them, taunting them, and then shouting, the whole world is watching. Oh, except for that little thug who tried to block our Sun News cameras, right? Why is that? I mean, didn't they want the whole world to watch? Well, see, they did, but they wanted the whole world to see the story from their point of view, the pro-violence, pro-environmentalist point of view. And they can count on the other media to do that, to edit out the litter and the squalor and the swearing and the masked man and the garbage thrown at the one Sikh policeman. Tell me, did you see that Sikh cop being hit with garbage on any other TV station? Of course not. It runs counter to the narrative of the poor little protesters and the mean, mean police.
My name's Justin. I'm a British Columbian. I support the pipeline, and all you fucking hippies need to get the fuck out of there and get jobs. I hope they come down on you with a big fucking net and just scoop you all up. Get the hell out of there.